Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 69 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we're talking about the art of the ask. What the heck is that? That is negotiation. Negotiation is one of the fastest, easiest ways to increase your wealth, increase your income, and so few people do it. I studied negotiation actually when I was in college and learned a lot about practicing on professors and practicing on my schoolmates, because everything is a negotiation. Let me put this down. Absolutely everything is a negotiation. Just like everything boils down to communication and human beings interacting with one another, negotiation is the same thing. Remind me to talk about the SOAP framework today. We're going to hop into, and while we're talking about our daily subject, we're also going to run one of our current challenges through the SOAP framework. Why? Because it's a super quick and easy problem-solving, decision-making tool or get into action tool that I want to make sure we cover every single month this year as part of the challenge. I almost forgot. I like to do it toward the beginning of the month or the middle of the month, so we have room for our super process the last 5 days of the month. So S, let's do it right now. S stands for story. What is our current story or situation? So we're going to pick, I like to pick a challenge area. So pick an area of your financial health and well-being that's challenging or not perfect yet, and apply the SOAP framework to that. So we're going to sit down today and we're just going to take a couple of minutes. You can write down a couple of bullet points or a couple of sentences. What is my current financial story or situation that I'm going to address? Pick something tangible and small so you can practice applying the process, and then you can use it on bigger and bigger and bigger things. I use it on just about everything now. Almost everything that comes up in my life and my businesses, I run through the SOAP framework. And I've got it installed in my subconscious because I've done it so many times that I automatically do that. So I'm automatically starting, for me, from a higher level of analyzing a problem or a situation or a goal than I would have before. And I think that's really powerful. If we're continually improving and getting better at things like this, it does nothing but make our lives better. All right, let's talk about negotiation. I love this topic because early on, I learned that asking for what you want is absolutely positively not only fun and exciting, but it's also necessary. If we don't ask for what we want, we talked about, and we'll talk about this more with respect to communication, people are not mind readers. I don't know about you. I tell my daughter and my granddaughters this all the time. I cannot read your minds. Grandma cannot read your mind. You have to tell me exactly what you want. Now, it's really hard before they can talk, but once they can talk, it's like, no, I understand you're unhappy about this, but I don't understand what you're unhappy about unless you tell me. So negotiation and the power of asking, it should not be underestimated, right? I contend, and I don't do it anymore so much, but when I was younger, I would like negotiate everything just for practice. Why? Because it helped me in my career, my corporate career. It helped me in my businesses unbelievably. So do you negotiate? Do you ask for what you want? I will say my favorite rule about negotiation, one that saved me so many times, is he or she who mentions a number first loses. And I learned that really early on before I was doing this is my next job negotiation, which literally over the course of my lifetime, just in salaries and jobs, has been worth millions of dollars to me personally, because I was willing to ask for and negotiate things. And I kind of learned this. I knew it before, but it really hit home to me when I realized that I was interviewing for a job. There was a stretch for me, but I knew darn well I could do it. And I was offered a $40,000 signing bonus. Now, to me, that was above and beyond what I was going to negotiate for salary, but that was awesome, right? Sometimes we just have to ask for what we want. Not sometimes, all the times we have to ask. Because what's the worst that can happen? They will say no. And if they say no, guess what? You're in the exact same position you were before you asked. We should do this for pricing, deals. Anytime we buy or sell something, it's getting harder with the internet and so many people buying things remotely or automatically through the internet. It's kind of hard to negotiate, but you can negotiate bigger things. For sure, negotiate the bigger things that you're going to invest in and buy in. If you don't go into the car dealership and negotiate your car and your finance rate, it's assuming you're going to finance it, you are absolutely crazy, because that will cost you tens of thousands of dollars in interest. And even worse on your home. Boy, if you're scared to negotiate, you are going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably more, for your living situation than you would otherwise have to over the course of a 25 or 30-year loan. All right, I digress. So today, what are we doing? I guess I could ask some reflective questions. What is it costing you to just stay where you're at, never ask for what you want? What is it costing you? Time, energy, emotional support, emotional well-being and health, mental health. If we stuff our needs down and we don't ever ask, guess what happens? It explodes out of you sometimes. Not usually a good situation. What belief is stopping you from asking? I know some of the beliefs I had that would stop me from asking in different situations are, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel ready. I don't feel good enough. Every time we say something like that, we are lying to ourselves, because we all are grown-up human beings and we all know everything we need to know to take the next step. We don't maybe know all the steps, but we know what to do next. And if we're making a purchase, if we're negotiating a relationship, because relationships are negotiations, right? Everybody has give and take. That's what I love about negotiations. It's give and take. One person does not have to win at the sake of the other person losing. That is such scarcity mentality, old world thinking. And we don't want to think that way anymore, right? Nope, because we want to make our life awesome. So today, what are we going to do? Share in the comments below your best negotiation. What is the best thing that you negotiated in your life? Mine is, I've had so many. I've had so many great negotiations, both in my corporate career as well as in my businesses. So I'll have to think on that, and I'll share it in the comments below, my best negotiation. And you get to define best, right? Maybe it's you got your significant other to marry you. That is an incredibly good negotiation, assuming it's the right person, of course. So what are we going to do for an action? Oh, I just said it. We're going to share our best negotiation. If you've never negotiated anything, ask yourself why today and reflect on what's preventing you from asking for what you want, and what the heck makes you think you don't deserve to ask for what you want and have absolutely everything you want. I'd like to chat with a couple of you about that, just to be more aware of that, because there's some of these things I've learned at a really young age, and I think I'm really fortunate because of that. And there's other things that's like, man, I never even thought of that. All right. Also, story. What's your current financial story with respect to one specific problem or area that you want to change? And what's your desired story? We want to do both so we can identify the gap and then fill it with the rest of the SOAP framework starting tomorrow. All right. If you need any help with anything, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Ask. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.